A nerve impulse is an electrical current that carries information that travels along dendrites and axons of the neuron. And a non-myelinated neuron is basically a neuron without a myelin sheath. So at first the neurons are at resting potential, which means that which is the potential difference across a nerve cell membrane when it is not being stimulated. And this happens when the sodium-potassium pump is working, which expels 3 sodium ions for every 2 potassium ions admitted, which makes the inside relatively negative compared to the outside. And then when the action potential is the potential difference produced across the membrane of a nerve cell when it is stimulated. And it happens when it's in response to a signal at a sensory receptor, where sodium channels start to open and sodium begin entering the neuron passively. And this causes the membrane potential to be positive, which is known as depolarization. And a sufficient change in the membrane potential, which is when it reaches the threshold potential, would cause adjacent voltage-gated sodium channels to open too, and the action potential would then spread down the axon. And a change in membrane potential also activates voltage-gated potassium channels, which causes the potassium to exit the neuron passively. And the potassium exiting the neuron causes the membrane to be negative again, which is known as repolarization. And before the neuron can fire again, it must be back to the original distribution. So the potassium and sodium ions must be reestablished via the pump. And this allows the impulse to travel.